something you can't fix.
If you can't fix what's broken, you'll go insane.
It's Jay and Adam. It's Previewed.
It's Previewed's Fix It with Adam and Jay.
Hey, Peaches, welcome to Fix It, where friends don't let friends fix pop culture alone.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jay, and you're our listener.
Hey there, listeners.
Ho there, listeners.
Avast, ye listeners.
Yar!
Yar!
Raise
me
the
listener
gangplank.
mateys.
That's right. Blisteria this whole time has been one giant boat, and we take to the seas.
It's been on the back of a turtle this
Yes.
entire time.
We're gonna
An undead turtle.
Ooh,
Cursed
spooky.
by Aztec gold or some sort.
Something.
Ooh.
Oh.
Spooky.
Welcome to the podcast. I am Jay. That's Adam. We are the two hosts of the Dread Pirate Captain YouTube channel, Previewed. The best one on the internet. All of them. Drink up me hearties, yo-ho. You may know us from that. You also may know us from those guys who just won't stop hanging out in the parking lot of the 7-Eleven. They just won't go away. We're those
We're
guys.
just listening to music.
Yeah, man. We're just vibing, you know?
Yeah, just listen to some DMB. Yeah. Bow. Bow, bow, now. Bow,
Dave
bow,
Matthews
now.
Band is where you went with it. I went like Scene Kids. Like we're just
Scene kids?
Yeah, man. You know, just wear little outfits on.
I don't.
Yeah.
What?
You know, like emo kids, like hanging out at 7-Eleven.
Oh.
Listening to Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Here wakes up my feelings.
Under the table
Oh, man.
and dreaming.
The amount of suburban youth that really. Oh boy. Anyways, this is our podcast Fix It, where every week Adam and I take a piece of pop culture that maybe missed the mark, maybe didn't quite get there, maybe just missed the boat, and we fix it. And this week we are fixing the sequel to Pirates of the Caribbean, Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Dead Man's Chest.
The movie that should have been awesome. And it was only, it was all right.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah?
I watched this with the Peaches.
You did?
We did our normal Discord Fix It movie watch along on the Discord. Thanks for everybody who showed up. And if you're interested in joining our Discord community, it's the best one on the internet. The link's down below if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're on listening through the podcast, just roll down your window and just yell Discord.
That's how it works.
And a bird will come to you.
Yeah, one of the macaws.
With a QR code.
Oh, cool.
In blood. Yep. Yeah, yar. We had fun. I think the sin of this movie really is that it's just way too long.
Yeah, it's almost 2.5 hours.
I think it's very much in the spirit of the first movie to some degree. I think it just overshoots its own self.
Oh, yeah, I missed the target by a lot.
It overshoots literally in that there's just too much movie, and it overshoots in their world building, and then it like goes from 0 to 1,000 kind of immediately.
That's the truth does.
But
we'll get more into that in a second.
But I will say the general consensus in the watch along was that people enjoy this movie.
Sure, it's not a bad time.
Some people were kind of like, "Why are you fixing this one? I like this one. What's wrong with y'all?" And I was like, "Yeah,
No, you'll see. We'll tell you why.
we'll tell you why. Tell me why fixing Pirates of the Caribbean. It's too long, and Davy Jones is kind of nano boats. Anyway, but before we get into fixing Dead Man's Chest, we come to everyone's favorite part of the podcast, Roll for Convo. Honestly, Adam and I we talk to each other so much, we see each other so much, that sometimes we don't necessarily know what to talk about when we have to actually podcast.
That's
true.
So
our producer Brian has provided 20 topics of conversation, and I am going to roll a 20-sided die. But
since Jay stole the last one...
Look, if you watch the podcast, you know, or if you watch the show writ large, Jay likes to fidget. hey, if there's a little bits and bobs on the table, I'm going to touch said bits and bobs and just fiddle with them. And last time I fiddled with the dice the whole time, then I put it in my pocket and I took it home with me on accident. And now I need the 20-sided die app, which I can't remember where I put it. Do the cool whip, do the cool whip, distracting from the fact that I can't find the app.
Okay, Jay, roll that 20-sided die.
On my phone. I got an 11, baby.
11. That question happens to be, who is your favorite movie character of all time? Only one. You can only pick one.
Does it say that in parentheses, like it reiterates itself?
Yes, it does.
Favorite movie character of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have one right out the gate?
Yes, I do.
Hit me with a hot note. Watch me bounce.
Luke Skywalker.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I mean, I know there are many other very good movie characters,
no, yeah.
but like
Yeah.
that is the favorite one, the one Adam based his life off of the most. That's just a movie character.
Yeah.
Was Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Superman was existed in the comics. You know, Luke is in the books as well. But like, no, for most of my childhood, Luke was only in 3 movies.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah. The amount of when I specifically when I was like playing like Little League baseball, I asked for a batting glove, and I specifically wanted a black batting glove.
Oh, really?
And I specifically got a black batting glove, and it wasn't really for baseball. I wanted to be Luke Skywalker, and so I had the green lightsaber toy, and I had my I would wear all black, and I had a little cape, and I had my black glove. Yeah, and I would totally like Luke Skywalker around the neighborhood.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Luke's pretty dope. Luke is the new hope. Everyone's like, oh, what's the hope they're talking about? It's Luke. It's Luke. And it's a fundamental misunderstanding that the new movies had about our favorite boy.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Not a big deal.
Nah, not even close.
Yeah, it's really upsetting.
When you wore the glove when you were batting, did you have like any like psychological like pump up when you had that glove tightening that glove?
Oh no, I mean, no. I think they got compartmentalized.
Oh, interesting.
I also
okay.
enjoyed baseball quite a bit. I
play baseball a lot.
Yeah. What position did you play?
I played a lot of them.
Oh, I was left-handed and big, so I had to play
first
I had
base.
to play first base.
Did you wear the glove and then the batting glove and then the glove?
No.
Oh, really? You only wore it for? Oh, okay.
No,
Interesting. Okay.
No.
I used to wear it like basically the whole game, and have
really?
the glove over the glove.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I help with the sting a little bit, but also just help with the grip inside the glove.
Oh, for me, I would rather get a smaller glove that I had more control over rather than putting a glove on.
No, I wanted more hand wingspan.
Oh, okay. But honestly, batting gloves are more about like, you know, because when you're in Little League, you have those metal bats. And sometimes if you're playing one that's cold, you get like the you kind of like shake your teeth.
Yeah,
like,
those are the worst.
Oof, that was terrible. My favorite movie character of all time.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first one that came to mind, and the more that I think about it, because I was like, I don't know if this is it, but the more I think about it, I was like, no, this is it. It's Po the Panda, from Kung Fu Panda. I love Kung Fu Panda.
Yes, you do.
I've watched it many times.
You have.
As an adult.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I feel so seen by those movies, and I feel so inspired by those movies.
Oh, that's the best part.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, man. Yeah, you are the Dragon Warrior. I say that to myself at least once a day.
Yeah, you just have to believe in yourself.
When I'm feeling down.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're the Dragon Warrior. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, sometimes Kimberly says it to me.
Does she really?
And it really means a lot to me. And I've never told her that, but I'm like, really like when you say that.
Well, she doesn't listen to this, so
no, she does not.
Know.
No, I don't listen to her podcast.
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Brian's on that podcast too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
Hear that, Brad? The Sword of Damocles. No, actually, listen to Broadway's. It's very good. It's a great show. They do a very good job, but also
the thumb goes down.
Yeah, that was pretty easy. That was like the easiest roll for combo we've ever had.
It really was.
Yeah.
And it's like, the first one was like, that was immediate.
Yeah.
There was no question.
I looked up taking Kung Fu classes because of Kung Fu Panda.
Again, after it's the Turtles?
What's up? No,
So
Turtles.
Wait, how old were you when the Kung Fu Panda came out?
Oh, like an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
As an adult.
Yeah.
I really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Honestly, because we only could pick one, the only thing that would really give it a run for its money would be my sweet Turtle Boys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or Ash Ketchum. That's not true. I just love Pokemon. But no, I just said Pikachu. Moving on. Don't ask me any questions.
Can I ask you a bonus question?
No. Okay. Yeah.
Who's your favorite trainer?
In Pokemon?
Yeah.
Like, are we talking like gym leaders? Are we talking champions? What are we talking?
Trainer. Which could be a gym leader because they are also trainers.
Cynthia is a stone cold murderer, and her Garchomp is, or straight up,
Yeah.
Whitney's Miltank from Whitney, the normal type trainer from Gold and Silver. She'll kill you. That the Miltank with rollout, don't even get me started. She's pretty cool. She's got a good attitude. I like her. She's spunky. But it's Cynthia. Cynthia is the coolest ever.
Cool.
Why did you ask if you don't even know?
I thought it was good information. And
Who's your favorite Pokemon trainer? Joe Biden. All right, moving on.
Brock?
Yeah, you like Brock. Well, he's more of a breeder now than a trainer. If you really want to get into the nitty-gritty of the story, if you really want to, I'm just saying. Did you watch the final episode of? Did you watch that?
But I haven't watched any episodes of Pokemon.
But you didn't even watch the one where Ash finally wins the trophy, and like all the characters from the show are all watching it on TV, and they're like, "Go get him, buddy. We believe in you." Oh, I'm crying thinking about it.
Yeah, I thought
really
that was
meaningful.
an act for a second.
Yeah, it was really meaningful.
I know, I do.
Yeah, it was really sweet. And then and then Pikachu, you think he's knocked out, but then like all of Ash's other Pokemon are like, "You got this, Pikachu. Go get him."
They go get him, Spidey him?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Go murder that Charizard.
Oh, wow.
And he does.
Cool.
Iron Tails that thing out of existence. Cha-chow!
Yeah, I tried watching a couple episodes of Pokemon when I was a kid. And was like, man, when I was a kid, no.
You
when
never
I was
even
a
played
teenager.
a game. You never even played a single game, did you?
No, I didn't.
Dude.
That is not my game.
I love it so much. It may be my favorite IP. If I really had to pick one.
Sure.
Like, Star Wars is great and all, but like, Pokemon, come on.
Hey.
I get little buddies, and they do my bidding, and I can dogfight them. Come on. That's what it is.
I know.
And so what it is.
I'm aware of what it is.
They try to like be like,
try to thread that
they
needle.
really try to like,
this isn't so bad.
They faint. It's like, no, they don't. No, they don't. I've seen Scyther's hands. They're swords. Yeah, man.
He uses cut a lot.
There's whenever I play through Heart Gold a couple of times, like every couple of years, because I think it's the best game ever. And I always go with Ampharos because I think Mareep would actually be my personal starter.
Okay.
And it has Thunder Punch, and there's a couple of fights in there where like Electric just like absolutely wrecked shop, and I was like, Ampharos just walked in there and just Thunder Punched all these things to death. Just to death. He just Thunder Punched a bird. That bird is dead. I'm so sorry.
That bird is dinner.
I'm so sorry. In my headcanon, if I hit something and it dies in one hit, it is dead. Dead.
Okay.
Like, if we get some punches in and it's that,
Okay.
The one thing I can't handle in Pokemon, though,
Okay.
when people are like, "Oh, well, this strategy," when I'm like, "No, I just picked the one where I breathe fire on them." There's no, but like, well, if you do this, then like you fall asleep and you gain a thing, but then like you use this, like, oh, well, like if you have this item on, and I'm like, no, just punch him, just punch him to death.
Jay's not interested in anyone's
Yeah,
builds.
I just
he just
rock
wants to
slide
do
him.
the thing.
I just throw huge rocks at them. That's cool. That's good enough. Why would I get tricky about this?
I can throw rocks and breathe fire.
Just thunder punch them to death. You know what I mean?
You're not wrong.
There's a lot of advanced strategy, and I think
Sure.
it's really cool that
Yeah.
people can figure that out.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Everyone's got their own different play style.
yeah.
Some people like numbers. Some people just like
Yeah, you know,
throwing rocks.
Scyther has swords for hands, right? Just cut them to death. I don't see what the problem is. You telling me I need perfect EVs? Well, I have swords. Like, just... bleh. What are we even talking about? All right, we said we were going to keep this one snappy.
Sorry, that's my fault. I shouldn't have asked the Pokemon question.
You shouldn't have.
I shouldn't
You
have.
shouldn't have. All right.
But now we know more about you, Jay. Isn't that kind of the point?
Isn't that, you know, the treasure is the friends we made along the way, you know? And how.
Huh?
And knowledge. But before we move into Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest, it's not Pirates of the Caribbean 2, which is so frustrating.
Yeah, I know.
Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest.
I know.
I get
Yeah.
what you're trying to do, but it bothers me.
It's just two.
Just say 2.
Yeah,
Pirates
just
2.
Yep, Pirates 2.
Pirates 2, Electric Boogaloo. Before we move into fixing that, why don't we find out a little bit about this movie and then maybe this franchise? And Brian, do you have swords for hands? In our favorite segment, where our producer Brian will fill you in on the film we're fixing. Brian, why don't you roll that beautiful bean fun fact footage?
Thank you, gentlemen. Producer Brian here. And today we're trying to fix 2006's Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest. This sequel to 2004's Pirates of the Caribbean The Curse of the Black Pearl was directed by Gore Verbinski and written by Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio. It stars Johnny Depp, Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley, Bill Nye, and a lot more people. It had a budget of around $225 million, and it made just over $1 million at the box office. Now, this movie is the highest grossing movie of 2006, the highest grossing Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and it's in the top 20 highest grossing Disney movies worldwide. It's also the third movie ever to hit $1 billion at the box office. And if you care, it has a 53% on Rotten Tomato, whereas Curse of the Black Pearl has an 80%. Anyway, back to you, me mateys.
Put those swords away, Brian. You're going to cut
Put
somebody.
those swords away, Brian. You little wackadoo. I love you. You're my best friend, and you're the best.
Brian's sword hands.
Brian McSword's hands.
It was a terrible accident when he lost his hands, and the doctor was like, I'm going to replace him with swords.
We got swords. We can rebuild him with swords. So, Pirates of the Caribbean 2.
Yes.
For those of you who have not seen this movie,
Or it's been a long time.
Or it's been a long time.
It's been almost 20 years.
Been a long time. For those of you that it's been a lonely, 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 lonely time. Why don't I, as quickly as possible...
You're the one doing it, Jay.
Why don't I, as quickly as possible, let you guys know about Pirates 2, Dead Man's Chest, in our other favorite segment, Plot Drop.
Okay, Jay. Clock is running.
Okay.
Here we go.
Pirates 2. Okay. Will and Keira Knightley... Elizabeth are trying to get married. Their wedding apparently. Do they need to add the rain?
No,
that seemed a little gratuitous.
It was very gratuitous.
Their wedding gets stopped by some random bad guy from the East India Company because they are going to be on trial for helping Jack Sparrow escape his death sentence, which honestly I only vaguely remember that happening.
It was the inciting incident of the first movie.
Was the inciting incident?
Yep.
So I just feel like the circumstances should have already... Anyways. Anyhoozle. But they are thrown in prison, and Will is given the task of going to find Jack Sparrow and getting his magical compass. And if he gets his magical compass... he and Elizabeth will be free, or at least that is implied.
Yes, they have documents saying that you have a pardon.
So he goes off to find Jack Sparrow. He, through talking to a bunch of people, finds him on an island because Jack has run the Black Pearl ashore because he realizes that Davy Jones is coming to get him.
Yep.
Yeah. Am I missing something? You're giving me that missing something face.
Oh, so far you're nailing it.
Elizabeth escapes prison in the meantime and gets more paperwork that more pardons, I guess.
Oh no, she grabbed the pardons off the guy's desk.
Yeah, I guess that's what
to put them
to
into play.
actually have them.
Yeah.
There's too many pieces on the board.
Too
in this
many
thing.
pieces on the board.
Jack has been captured by cannibals, and all of our favorite pirates help Jack escape. In some wacky hijinks ensue. They get back on the Black Pearl and get out of there. But then they realize they need to deal with Davy Jones and the
Flying Dutchman.
Flying Dutchman. Jack has a drawing of a key that they need to get from Davy Jones. It is not implied why until much later, but it is the key to the box that holds Davy Jones's heart. Davy Jones was the specter of death, or he felt. It's not explained well.
It's not
he
explained in this movie.
fell in love with death, and then
the actual explanation's in the third movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why did that take so long?
Because Jay, both these things are one movie.
Come on.
They just cut them up.
Yes, that is the long and the short of it. They have to. He has his heart in a box, and that's what powers
He's
his
got
evil.
his heart in a box.
Heart in a box.
Ooh, girl.
His heart in a box
girl.
powers his evil, dark machinations. Apparently, it's the source of his power. I guess. Again, not explained. It's the only way to kill him. And Davy Jones is, he recruits like doomed men to serve him and waylay death, I guess. But they all turn into basically
sea creatures.
They turn into if street sharks were all different kinds of creatures.
Yeah.
That one guy who is a shark, that guy looks like a street shark.
He does look like a street shark.
And not in a good way.
No.
They're all like underwater monster people. Will realizes that his father is also on board, and that's what ended up happening to his dad. Upon finding that out, he's the one that decides to go undercover onto Davy Jones's boat, try to infiltrate and steal the key. He plays a game of liars. It's liar's dice.
Okay.
And accidentally dooms his father to an eternity of servitude.
Bum bum bum.
Which, here's the thing: if you're trying to waylay death, wouldn't an eternity of servitude be a good thing? Because you're not trying to die.
I don't know.
I don't really get the logic of
the rules of the Dutchman are
doesn't
weird.
matter.
Yep.
But he eventually gets the key, and he gets away. And then it gets confusing at this point.
Yeah.
Because Elizabeth meets up with the pirates, and all of them realize that they have got to go. They go and save Will, and he has the key. They get to the box. They all fight over the box.
It's a good sword fight.
It's a fine sword fight.
Right.
I will say that is the moment where I was like, this movie is so long. Why is this taking so long?
Uh-huh.
At some point, we figure out that the old commandant is working with the pirates because he got fired because Jack Sparrow just straight up stunted on him too hard
in the first movie. Yeah.
And that the three of them fight over the box while the bad guys are trying to come get him, and eventually Jack steals the heart, but loses it at a certain point. The Kraken comes to fight the Black Pearl. Jack sacrifices himself, goes down with the pearl as the Kraken.
That's not entirely true. Elizabeth handcuffed him to the boat, and he couldn't get off. He was only able to escape the shackle at the very end when the Kraken was already there.
Yeah, but he got his hat back, so
it
all worked out in the end.
Kind of.
And then it turns out that the commandant found the heart and took it back to the other bad guy.
Uh-huh.
And so he's back in the play now. That's the only reason he's in this movie.
Yep. To usher the heart from one place to another.
That's the only reason.
Yep.
And Jack has been eaten by the Kraken, but we find out in the end that he can be brought back because he is at World's Edge, apparently. And they're gonna go find him.
Yep. And they need help.
Yeah.
So who comes down the stairs to help him out? To be the captain of the.
Did I miss anything? I feel like that's it.
Barbossa comes back at the very end.
Oh, yeah, well, Barbossa comes back, and that's fun. Yeah. But, that's the gist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
It does. When you laid out like that, there's too much going on.
Well, you cut out the cannibalism stuff.
It's 20 minutes. I actually timed it when I watched it. Cannibal Island's 20 minutes long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cut that out
it's
and
so
just have,
unnecessary.
Just have Will meet up with the crew.
There's some fun set pieces. There's some fun action that happens. Them rolling down the hill in the ball cage, that's fun.
Sure.
But
Not needed, though.
not necessary.
Not necessary at all. You can use that time for
It's
something
also
later
kind
on.
of racist. That whole thing just feels...
You know what?
Even when I first saw it, I was
Yes.
like, this feels weird.
It does.
I don't like how this...
It felt weird.
It feels... And, you know, yeah.
It didn't feel good.
Yeah.
It didn't feel right.
Yeah. It's just not
I left the
awesome.
dog in peril. Yeah. There's here's the problem with this movie. The first movie was great. It was like perfect. It was a perfect pirate movie. It was the most perfect pirate movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, movie rules.
And then the same people who wrote the first one wrote the next three.
And it had the added benefit of everyone kind of thinking it was going to be a flop and a joke.
Yeah.
And then people were like, no, the movie's actually really
This is really good.
People were like, oh.
Yeah.
So it was like a phenomenon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw it like 3 times in the
over $1
theaters.
billion, I believe.
Because I was like, you need to go. Like, everyone needs to go see this movie. It's awesome.
It's awesome. I will still watch it to this day.
Yeah, it's a great flick.
It's an amazing flick.
And it clips.
It does clip.
Like the screenplay is like tight.
This is not tight. This movie falls prey to the same problem that the Matrix trilogy had. They made the last 2 films one movie.
Yes.
This isn't a story. That isn't a second part of the story. This is not an empire. This is just a longer story to finish off this trilogy. Wait, this is going to be a trilogy? Boy, we really didn't set the first one up to be a beginning of a trilogy. Well, we're just going to go with it. Okay.
Well, that's also it is like the first, in my opinion, the second casualty, the Matrix being the first. It's the second casualty of 2 movies being greenlit at one time.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, just because they're,
Just because Lord of the Rings did it.
Yeah.
And the Matrix did it.
But also Lord of the Rings, we already knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a reason why this was 3 movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas this is like, they're like, well, we have 2 movies. What story?
We make them one story.
Like, nah. Like,
it was a trap.
We want a
It was a
self-contained
trap.
story
Yep.
and then move on to a third one and then get little bits and bobs of things being carried on. They were like, oh, we can world build like so huge. I'm like, yes, but also you have world builded too much.
Yes.
You had all of your characters and you assumed we loved all of them equally. That is not the case.
That is not even close to being true.
Like, they shoehorn, like, as much as their bits are funny and they are good physical comedic actors, the two pirates were shoehorned
Abbott
in.
and Costello pirates.
Yes,
were shoehorned in.
They did not need to be there.
They did not.
They could be there if you cut other stuff to make room for them.
Sure.
Like, if anything, they didn't even get enough to do.
They didn't. The movie's almost 2.5 hours long. Cannibal Island's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The last fight is like another about 15-ish minutes. Also, it's the power creep.
Yes.
For anyone who watches anime, you guys understand what I'm talking about. The power creep in this movie, it goes from, in the first one, just Jack's old crew happens to be cursed by Aztec gold, so they're undead and turned into skeletons in moonlight.
Yeah.
That's an easy entry-level supernatural thing that's easy to get around. Okay, great. Undead pirates. Neat. But I feel like the people who wrote this film were just like, oh, we got to up the supernatural on this.
Yes.
How do we do that? Oh, I know. Davy Jones.
Here's the thing. The Flying Dutchman and Davy Jones is not a bad jump.
It's not.
Their execution of it.
But from the first movie to a second movie of just like, okay, your old crew is a bunch of our undead cursed pirates. Neat. Now you're up against the god of the sea.
Yeah.
Or, supposed to usher in, the god who ushers, he's basically a Shinigami, ushering the souls of dead sailors to the afterlife. Like, he's so basically God or God adjacent. Okay, that's a jump.
Yeah. And he controls the Kraken. So
there's too much going on. This is too powerful of a bad guy.
He's got hands for swords, and he can breathe fire.
And he's basically Cthulhu.
I thought that the thing is that I think the design is really, really fun. It's too much.
Yes.
Like they needed to back off. Like they needed to take the designs they had and then do like 75% less.
Yes.
Like Davy Jones having the Cthulhu face, that's actually pretty great.
Sure.
I'm not mad at that at all.
But like everyone else being like shark-ish,
Yes.
octopus-ish,
Yeah.
blowfish-esque.
Not just full-on monsters.
Not full-on monster. Because it's like the completed form of the clickers.
Yes.
They like that. That's just like when I was watching, like, oh, this is giving me Last of Us vibes. Oh, nope. Because some people are just blended in with the ship. I was like, I saw that earlier this year. I don't. No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't need that again.
I don't like it. I think it could have worked if it was the third movie.
If we built to Davy Jones.
Yeah.
But the whole thing was plotted out to be 2 movies. They didn't give any information or the needed information in this movie. And also, the Kraken is basically the big bad of this movie.
Yeah.
Do you know how remember at home? Do you remember how the Kraken gets taken care of?
Tell us.
It gets killed between movies.
Yeah.
Off screen.
Well, they do a good job of blowing out the tentacles and such.
Sure. But you know how
They fight it real good.
But it kills Jack, and then that's just taken
Then
off
run
the board in
away.
between movies.
Yeah, but then the bad guy has the control of the Kraken.
But that's something we want to see our heroes take
I would
out.
agree. I would absolutely agree.
Oh, you put an obstacle in their way. It's like, oh, this guy's really bad. He's really hard to beat him. How are they ever going to beat this mythical creature?
How do I kill this Kraken?
They're not. They won't. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like it is within the spirit of the first movie. It just doesn't feel like the first one.
No.
And it's not that it has to.
No,
but
not
it's
at
like
all.
it feels like we've just gone from a world that has a little bit of whimsy to full on magic.
Yes, all whimsy.
Like
Yes.
full on magic. To the point where like the government is trying to get control of this thing.
Yeah. The East India Trading Company is actually a really good bad guy,
Yes.
but like they're not in the movie.
Yeah.
But they're ultimately the bad guy.
Yeah.
But they aren't in this movie, and they're also not in the next
they
one
are,
either.
But not really.
But not really. They're not the threat Davy Jones is.
Yeah, it's kind of it's just
It's
a little
weird. And again, I know this podcast is specifically about the second one, but moving to the third one a little bit, like even they don't actually ever really fight the East India Trading Company.
Yeah.
It's just Davy Jones versus the Pearl.
And
at the end.
capitalism is the real enemy, everybody. You heard it here first. You know?
It's just too supernatural.
Yeah.
It just needed a little flavoring of it, not to be it overpowered the meal.
Yeah. Yep.
And it was frustrating because I could see all the elements we loved from the first one are there. And here's the best thing. The fifth movie is basically redux of the first movie, and it did really well. 4 and 5 did really well.
Financially?
Yeah. The fourth one made over $1 billion.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I saw 4 and 5.
After the 2 and 3, there's really no reason you should.
Yeah.
But 4 and 5 did really well.
They still make money, you know?
Yeah.
Why not?
They are still whispering about making a 6th one. The 5th one came out in 2017.
I say, why not? Why not? No one else is making pirate movies,
No, they're not.
you know? So why not?
Yeah. This was a lot of really good intentions. They just put too much emphasis. They put too much the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Well, yeah, it's also it's the curse of success to some degree. Because I think what made the first Pirates movie so good was that they knew they were being underestimated, and so they were like, it's like how a band's first album is always usually their best because they know they have something to prove, and it's also they're like they trim down their best work and put out like the best 10 songs. Whereas like that, we're like, cool, we're making a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Everyone already thinks this is a joke. We have to do a good job.
This is a bad idea.
But also they had a budget. Sometimes you can have too much budget. Sometimes you can have too much money on a movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of these movies are a perfect example of that. It was like, no, they worked within their budget. They made it happen. And then the second one, they were like, once Disney smelled the blood in the water, they were like, well, let's go crazy. Oh, boy.
I mean, they pushed the technology. Bill Nye being a freaking Davy Jones
And he does
Cthulhu monster was
he
great.
gives a very good performance.
Sure, absolutely. They really pushed the envelope with that tech, but like it was in service of a not great of a kind of a script.
Yeah. I think we should probably try to fix this.
I
bud.
would very much like to fix this.
I think you're going first.
I have been told I'm going first.
Yeah.
So basically, the crux of my fix is that I'm going to slow down the power creep
Okay.
a little bit. We're gonna go from the Saiyan saga to the Frieza saga. We're not going to jump straight to the Buu saga. That's crazy.
I know what
Why
you're
would you
talking
do
about.
that? I know you do. We talked because we actually talked about that earlier.
It's just like
I know.
I was trying to isolate.
I know you were trying to isolate me, but you activated my trap card. I forget.
Shoot.
Not you, me.
No, you're supposed to play along. Dang it. No.
Also, the East India Trading Company they're going to remain the threat, like actively
Yeah.
the threat throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And also, Davy Jones is not in my movie. So,
okay.
So here, my movie is Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Drum.
Dead Man's Drum. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm taking the good elements of the movie and pulling them back to 25%, and
okay.
we're gonna build towards something.
All right.
So I like the beginning of the movie. The inciting incident is good. Like, I don't mind starting it with Will and Elizabeth attempting to get married, but the slow mo rain shots and like, ooh, look, there's like, what was it? Fine china being rained on.
It was.
Ooh, it's so artistic.
I was like, they weren't getting
What?
married anyways. Clearly.
Yeah, it was raining outside.
Because also, like, who's your wedding planner that it was raining and all the stuff is still out there? Like, there's still a staff. Chop, chop, everyone.
Yeah.
It's silver. Get it in. What are you doing?
It was a very weird. It's a weird energy to start the movie on, but I don't mind starting. Like, I think they have the wedding. We start with the wedding.
Yeah.
It's a nice day out. The procession's happening. Everyone's
Yeah.
there in Port Royal is it Port Royal?
Sure.
Wherever. Elizabeth's hometown where it starts in the first movie. Everyone's really happy and the wedding is happening. They're actively doing the vows.
Yeah.
And then Beckett shows up from the East India Trading Company, which at this point, and also it would have helped. You know what would have actually really helped this whole franchise? Hey, time and year and what's going on. Some freaking background of the world in which all these adventures take place in.
Yeah.
Because the East India Trading Company eventually got bought out or like got subsumed by the British government.
Okay.
So like they were working arm in arm. So like
You did some Wikipedia deep dive into the East India Trading Company, didn't you?
Yes, because because they just show up in the movie. And I was like, we're the East India Trading Company. It's like, I've heard of that, but they don't really explain it in the movie. But I feel like they should have, because I feel like this is important and this probably would make sense if I knew more about it.
Yeah.
But the movie doesn't give us the info.
No.
So, text crawl, lore dump, something about where their authority is coming from.
Yeah.
Why Beckett can be like, no, I'm with the East Indian Trading Company. The British government has given me carte blanche to do the thing. You guys let Jack Sparrow
They
go.
keep saying Beckett, and they keep referring to him as Beckett. Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Every time someone says the name Beckett, I always think of Castle, the show Castle.
Oh, wow.
That's literally every time they're like Beckett. I was
Is
like,
that
wait,
Nathan Fillion's character or the
no,
woman?
it's the cop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Beckett. It's literally.
I've never seen Castle.
It's a good show.
I bet.
You might actually like it.
Oh,
It's
really?
a good procedural.
Oh.
If you liked
I don't
Bones,
like
you'd
these-
like Castle.
Well, I have never watched Bones either.
Never watched Bones.
I know.
It's so Bones is the perfect snapshot of how to run a successful television show while still making an entertaining product, but also like the way that they just kind of like cleverly ride around things, and like characters just kind of like their backstories totally change, and it just to service
Whatever arc they needed.
Yeah, it is network television. Like it is a sports car of network television.
Ooh, well, that show did go for what, 9?
Oh yeah,
it went for a
it
while.
went for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Beckett shows up. He arrests Will and Elizabeth, and the same basic thing happens. Like, hey, if you want Elizabeth to be free, you need to go find Jack Sparrow because there's something I want from him.
Yes.
We will.
That's a strong start. I'm
It's a
actually
great
starting
start.
exactly the same.
It's a great start. So then Will's like, okay, I gotta go find Jack. So then we jump to, we follow Will for a little bit, and he gets on a boat, and it's like, I'm off to adventure. He knows he's got to go find Jack, and he's like gets on a boat that sails out of the port, and like he's got a plan.
Yeah.
So then we jump over to the Pearl, and we're with Jack and the crew, and they're sailing. We check in with them. All the hijinks on the Pearl. We check in. We also get to see the Pearl. We didn't really see the Pearl in the movie.
Yeah.
And then it starts getting blown up at the end, and it's like everyone's like, "Oh no, the Pearl!" It's like we weren't even really here this movie.
Yeah.
oh, all these.
We haven't really romanticized this.
Yeah,
at all.
we're gonna romanticize the boat a little bit because, like, Jack loves his boat and apparently, like, made a deal with
He
Davy
paid
Jones.
the iron price for it.
Yeah,
so.
which I don't remember that happened or being talked about in the first movie at all. So, like, I'm not.
No,
I
I mean-
I don't remember. Anyways, none of that's happening in this. They're on the Pearl, hijinks. The crew, they see a boat, like, hey, let's go be pirates, and they go pirate a boat. Turns out that was the boat Will was on.
Oh, cool.
And Will kind of, like, was massaging the guys to, like, be in a place. We can find out that, like, Will's the one that kind of helped them chart the course to kind of get into the
I
waters.
like the idea that all the pirates are like, pirating, and they're like, "Will, what are you doing here? Hey, hi!" And they're like actively like sword fighting other people.
So we see Jack and the crew be pirates,
Yeah.
and take over this boat and start stealing stuff. Well, while Jack and the Pearl and the gang are being pirates at this boat, and Will's like, hey, so, Jack, we need to talk, blah, 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 blah. Another boat shows up, and someone's, from the crow's nest, like, oh, no, and they see another pirate boat, and it's Blackbeard's boat.
Oh, cool.
And so everyone starts, like, getting real nervous. Like, uh-oh. We, like, both, it's, because it's the classic thing. This is why we like the first movie. It's like, people are antagonistic and fighting each other, and then something happens, like, uh-oh.
The
We're on the
enemy
same
of my
team now?
enemy,
Yep,
yeah.
okay. So,
I never thought about that, but yeah, these movies do that very well. Yeah.
there's a flip-flopping of, because of the changing situation, people's allegiances have to change to best suit them. Because, like, no one's really bloodthirsty against each other. It's just like, hey, no, I'm a pirate. I need your stuff. And like, oh, no, I have to protect my stuff. Oh, wait. A whirlpool. Oh, no, I guess we're all in the same boat. Let's get the heck out of here. Ah!
Yeah.
So Blackbeard shows up. And Blackbeard and his the Queen Anne's Revenge. Of course, I looked it up.
Blackbeard sailing on the Queen's Anne Revenge.
Shows up to pirate now both of them, and so now it's Jack and the other boat of the other crew, Will, and like trying to.
Do we have casting for Blackbeard?
Yeah, it's Ian McShane.
Oh yeah.
So he played him in the.
Oh, yeah.
Blackbeard's in the fourth movie,
Okay.
so I'm just moving him forward because that's.
Ian McShane's like 5'5".
Yeah, he's not a tall guy.
He's really short.
Yeah, but his stature. He's the tallest man.
Yeah, man.
So it's Blackbeard. I'm like, oh no. And so now everyone's like, so Blackbeard's trying to pirate both of them. And like Jack's trying to, we see the interplay between these two characters.
Yeah.
And Blackbeard's supposed to be dead. Basically, they made Blackbeard like Brainiac instead of like ships and cities and stuff like that. Or instead of cities and planets or whatever, it is boats.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. So he just uses voodoo. Like, he should have been dead like 40 years ago, but for some reason he is alive.
Yeah.
And we see that he is a practitioner or has someone who is a practitioner of voodoo on his ship/crew.
Okay.
So Blackbeard in my movie is immortal through voodoo.
Yeah.
So everyone's freaking out. They're trying to parlay and figure this stuff out. He's like, I'm freaking Blackbeard. Hi, Jack. I'm taking everyone's stuff. And so, there's funny, witty wordplay, and like everyone's trying to kind of get around the situation and kind of surreptitiously get like the pearl out of there. And then while everyone's parlaying and everyone's like, the pirates are about to square off, they see 3 East India Trading Company ships show up.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Because these guys, as we have learned from a previous scene with everyone on the boat, like, oh, these people like just rolled in, like the British Empire is like trying to like squash all pirating in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So like now we're gonna see it happen. And so now Blackbeard and the Pearl are trying to both outrun the East India Trading Company.
Okay.
And so Blackbeard's going to use a little voodoo magic, and like are able to screw Jack and Will and the Pearl over to like get away, maybe like fog or some type of just like use the elements, just a little bit of supernatural power to get away, leading Jack and the Pearl alone to get away from these 3 really fast ships that are determined to board them and get Jack.
Yeah.
So we get a chase scene. And so, eventually the Pearl's able to escape. But, like, it's a fun action boat scene. End of Act 1. So the Pearl gets away. Great. End of Act 1. Okay, now we know what's going on. The scenario's been set up. East Indian Trading Company, bad. Everyone's looking out. They're out after Jack for his compass. And Elizabeth's still in danger. Okay, so now everyone goes to Tortuga to, like, okay, things are bad for pirates right now. The East India Trading Company's out there doing stuff. Blackbeard's like, hey, this sucks. He's not there, but like,
Yeah.
it's got everyone a little nervous because these guys rolled out in mass. They rolled deep. We meet. The Commodore is there in Tortuga. I'm sorry. Beckett hires the Commodore, brings him out of he finds him and is like, or someone could find him.
Okay.
And is like, hey, you want a second chance? Go find Jack for me. Okay, because he's been living in squalor, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you were the one who fought Jack last time, almost caught him. I'm going to give you a second chance. And the Commodore was like, great, no problem, I can do that. Just give me a boat. And I want Elizabeth to come with. Because remember, he was supposed to marry her.
Yes.
So Elizabeth's like, I don't... Fine. This you know what? Gets me in play. Fine.
Yeah.
So I just put me in coach. I just need a chance.
Yeah.
The Pearl regroups on Tortuga, and Barbossa is there. And so he talks to Jack. Because Barbossa's like, because he's like, everyone likes Barbossa, even though he's kind of a dick. Like, he knows about a bunch of stuff. He's like, you know what? You need my help. He's like, I don't want your help. But, because Jack Sparrow, I don't need your help. But Barbossa talks his way back onto the Pearl. And so now Barbossa has joined the crew. The East India Trading Company has been hunting everybody. And so, the net's kind of closing in a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, in doing so, Blackbeard realizes, we kind of cut over to Blackbeard and see what he's up to. He makes a play for the East India Trading Company and talks to Beckett. And it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. I'm a businessman. I've been doing this a very long time.
Yeah.
And you guys are a businessman as well, or a business. We can work together. You leave me and my ship alone, and I'll get Jack for you.
Okay.
Because I know Jack Sparrow. I've been around a lot longer than Jack Sparrow. Trust me, I can get you Jack Sparrow. Just leave us alone. Everyone can get what they want. Everything's going to be fine. And Beckett's like, okay, that sounds great. So Barbossa's on the crew. Blackbeard's after Jack. Will and Jack and Barbossa figure out, okay, what the thing we're lacking right now is information. And also Elizabeth, because they have no idea Elizabeth's in play right now. So we need to go back to Port Royal, or wherever that home place is, and we need to break in, grab Elizabeth, and see if we can steal any information from Beckett to figure out what the heck's actually going on here.
Okay.
So, great. Infiltration. Back to that, the main city from the first movie. Everyone sneaks in. Jack and Will are sneaking in. They get to the cell and wait a second, Elizabeth is gone? Ah, crap. And then, Barbossa is able to break into Beckett's office, and he finds the information that he's looking for of okay, he sees the map on the wall, they have grand plans for this entire new world, and there's something called the Dead Man's Drum. We need to get out of here. And now Blackbeard showed up, because now everyone's like, oh, wait a second, they're here? Okay, now everyone's trying to get off the island, and everyone's showing up, and we got, again, it's
wacky.
It's wacky hijinks of different people, the East India Trading Company's goons, Blackbeard's guys, the Pearls trying to get, it's again wacky hijinks of getting off the island with the information. And this is the point. We can also, since everyone is kind of in the same place now, Elizabeth can also steal, jump off and find Will, and they're like, okay, we got Elizabeth.
Yeah.
You were on a boat with the Commodores in play. There's so much going on. Okay, everyone gets on the Pearl. We get off the island. We know what we're after now, the dead man's chest, or that dead man's drum. Okay, Jack, you got to use the compass. We need to get that thing, and we got to keep it away from, what is it? We don't know, but we need to get it away from Beckett so they don't find it. We need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And so Jack, I like that the compass was a kind of a metaphor for Jack being uncertain about what he wanted in life.
Yes.
Which was really good. I think we keep that, and it keeps pointing to Elizabeth. Because he was kind of as a way out of, it just seemed like he liked her, and it kept pointing to her.
I think he's in love with Will, but that's fine.
Oh, why not? But there could be his heart could be not completely onto pirating, and I think that was pretty cool. But then we can have Elizabeth that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
So eventually everyone okay, the drum on this island. Everyone races to the island, and then basically once we get there, all the same stuff happens. Blackbeard shows up, Commodore shows up. Now we have 3 different ships are there. Queen Anne's Revenge, the Pearl, and I think it's the Dauntless was the HMS Dauntless was the Commodore ship.
Yeah.
That was in the second movie. So all 3 ships are there, all 3 crews are there. We have 3 representatives with Blackbeard, Jack, and the Commodore all looking for the drum.
Okay.
Eventually, they get it. We can do the 3-card Monty of who's got what, where, whatever. Eventually, we have a 3-way sword fight again. Blackbeard, Jack, Commodore. It was really cool. Very Three Musketeers. Loved it. Do it again. Maybe not on the wheel, but we'll figure something else out. It's awesome. Because Ian McShane, a little older than the actors in this thing.
A little shorter.
We'll figure something else out. It's really cool. But eventually, the Commodore's going to get away with the drum. And that leaves Will, the last person standing between him and getting back to the ship. So they fight on the beach. And again, it's kind of a lot of like the same stuff of like over Elizabeth as well.
Yeah.
And accidentally, during the fight, Will bangs the drum. And there is a beat that drops that is so heavy that it stops everything. Because also the ships are circling and, the crew, there's fighting going on, stuff like that.
So Skrillex is there, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because the beat just drops. And everyone's like, what the hell was that? And then Blackbeard goes, oh, we need to leave. It woke up. This shot just like a zoomed shot over the ocean, just then into the water, and then much like the what was the thing at the bottom of the living waters on Mandalore, you just see a big eye open.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was drum for the Kraken.
Absolutely.
I took the drum off of.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just a drum.
Yeah.
So, Blackbeard knows what's up. We got to go. So once again, allegiances have now changed. We're all in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, our fight's over. They Blackbeard and Jack are able to quash their beef a little bit because this has gotten out of control.
And we're against. There's a bigger force we're against right now. Yeah.
We got to go. The fighting on the ships stop. It allows Commodore to get away. With the drum, the Kraken shows up, destroys the Dauntless because we need to see its power. We need to see what the was like. Oh no.
Yeah.
Allowing the Commodore to get picked up by somebody else as the Queen Anne's Revenge and the Pearl also tried to make their escape, realizing that they've released something they shouldn't have.
The Kraken?
The Kraken.
Released the Kraken.
They shouldn't have, but they did.
Oops,
all Krakens.
Oops, all Krakens.
The Commodore gets back to Beckett and is like, I got what you wanted. Now I want my freedom, or I want my position back. He's like, and you have it. Now, and we also now have control of the Caribbean. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And when I was finishing this last night, I realized that this is not the second movie of the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. This is the first one.
Oh.
So I realized the way this was going, the way this should go, and I didn't write anything else out, but this is just off the top of the dome, that this really is, this is episode 1 of a trilogy.
Okay.
As using Pirates of the Caribbean as a Hobbit type thing. Hey, this is the setup. This is the fun stuff we're going to have. This is the first movie of the trilogy. Setting up all the kind of stuff. We expanded the lore a little bit. Okay, the Kraken is now out. These India trading companies out there hunting pirates. They have a super weapon now. All the pirates are in danger. Even Blackbeard's like, yeah, I'm immortal. And uh-oh.
Yeah.
Movie 2 is basically them trying to figure out how to take out the Kraken and to help defeat the East India Trading Company.
Yeah.
And eventually they'll figure out a way. They'll kind of do what they did in the third one of getting a lot of pirates to start working together. Barbossa, Blackbeard, Jack. Maybe they went to Singapore in the third movie, which Singapore is very, very far away from the Caribbean. I'm not quite entirely sure how that stays in the lore in the world.
Yeah, I don't really know.
But
it's so far away.
It's so far. There was no Panama Canal. They needed to go all the way down to. I don't know. It's very weird. Let's just kind of keep it in the Caribbean area.
Sure.
Type stuff. But another meeting of some famous pirate captains can be we need to band together. We all have a common foe right now.
Yeah.
They have a super weapon. So, and of course, Jack and Barbossa can kind of be at the lead, and they kind of jockey.
Are you about to just explain 3 movies to me?
No.
Okay.
And then jockey with Blackbeard, and eventually, through teamwork and friendship and some backstabbing, they take on the East India Trading Company in a big ass fleet on fleet battle.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But they figure out a way of taking out the Kraken, and we see a battle with the Kraken.
Yeah.
And they kill it, and it's awesome. The problem is when they kill the Kraken, that pisses off Davy Jones.
Oh yeah.
And so then Davy Jones shows up at the end.
But that first Pirates movie is so good.
I know. Then Davy Jones is the bad guy in the third because now Davy Jones is pissed they killed the Kraken, and now he's like an undead death god of the sea, and now everybody has to, even the East Indian Trading Company's
the Kraken was the thing that was guarding the barrier between my realm and yours.
Yep. Now I'm just gonna go nannerboats crazy on everybody, and the Dutchman's out there just wrecking shop on pirates, on the British.
The Kraken,
on
instead
everybody.
of being controlled by Davy Jones, is the thing keeping Davy Jones in check.
Yeah,
yeah.
The dead man. The drum was hidden for a reason.
Yeah.
And so everyone works together to defeat Davy Jones. There's no whirlpool or whatever, but we can like figure out a way of just like.
It's kind of a cool sequence, though.
Sure, maybe if we get to it in a more, in a better way. And also, Will doesn't sacrifice himself. I think that, I don't know, that was kind of weird. Maybe Will can save his dad.
Oh, that was just textbook. I am Orlando Bloom, and I really don't want to be in this franchise anymore.
Oh, sure. He's done after 4. Maybe the third one is maybe the trident is the thing they do in the 4th movie, the third of this trilogy. Okay. As they're getting around Davy Jones. But, like, that I feel like that is a better raising of the stakes, rising of the power scaling, because you can't do Davy Jones next. He's got to be the last. He's like got to be like a final boss.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and so then Will and Elizabeth can probably get married at the end.
Of course,
and everything's happy.
Of course, because it's got to end in a marriage. Why not?
Yeah, they're very cute together. You're not gonna like strand. It's like, oh,
Adam loves a happy ending.
See you in 10 years. Bye.
Bye.
Nah, man. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Agreed.
So, yeah, that's my fix. This is the first
man.
First of a trilogy.
That was really good.
Thanks.
We're not gonna. Yeah. Blackbeard is a good next step.
Mm-hmm. He's of just people with just general pirate knowledge of people. Name a famous pirate.
Yeah.
Blackbeard, probably. If you're playing Family Feud, top 5. Answer.
Exactly.
Easy.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Jay, fix it.
My fix. Okay. I'm actually opening in a similar to the actual movie and to your fix as well.
It's like
we start with the
wedding.
Wedding gets interrupted. They are put in chains because they want similar reason.
Mm-hmm.
They want Jack because they want his compass. The difference being in my fix, instead of Jack them having to go find Jack and all of our pirate friends bust the 2 of them out of jail.
Yeah, nice.
Let's just get that off the table. We meet Beckett a little bit. We figure out about the East India Trading Company.
Sure.
We know he really wants the compass. We don't really know why. And we don't even really know much about what the compass actually does.
Right.
And they don't really explain it that well until it's kind of too late, and I think in the real movie. But so Jack and the gang bust the 2 of them out. There's some combating on the boat actually because they're kind of pissed at Jack for obvious reasons. Yeah. But it's come to find out Jack explains the compass and like as they're in Tortuga kind of like planning their next move. Elizabeth, like he's like Jack is like this compass is supposed to show you what you need.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily what you want. And he was like, I'm afraid of what that means.
Kind of like the TARDIS.
And Elizabeth convinces him to follow the compass.
Mm-hmm.
The East India Trading Company kind of takes Tortuga during that sequence.
Okay.
So we kind of see a big fight there.
Sure, yeah.
The Black Pearl makes its escape, chased by East India Company. Now, Jack he just like, screw it, let's follow the compass. But they get to a certain point where Jack tries, he in their hijinks, they kind of have the scene where he's like trying to turn the boat because he knows where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he figures out where they're going. He's like, oh crap, I don't know why would it send us this direction? I don't know.
Uh-oh.
They're like, Jack, you need to explain what's going on. And he's like, this compass is taking us to the edge of the world. And they're like, what? And then honestly, by the time they kind of figure it out, they see the falls and they see the East India Company is chasing after them. And the Black Pearl is like rushing towards like, the huge falls at the end of the world. It's the edge of the map, love. Fighting the East India Company, but also like trying to not fall over the.
Sure, yeah.
Basically, like the pearl gets like lodged on like a large rock on the edge of the world, and they are fighting the East India Company all the while even some of the East India Company boats are falling over the falls, like, but the Black Pearl is safely like moored.
Yeah. Moored, yeah.
But through the fighting, the boat is slowly turning. It's tipping over, like it's like rotating. So there's that kind of like wacky fight, but eventually, Jack, Will, and Elizabeth fall over the side of the earth. The rest of the pirates are still fighting there, but the East India Company eventually backs off. But like
because the quarry is gone.
Yeah, they're basically like marooned at the edge of the world. Basically,
cool.
Like, I'll just leave them to die.
Yeah,
like they're not going to be in trouble to anybody else. It's too bad about the compass though. But if this were his leads, that's fine. Now, Jack falls first, as Will and Elizabeth fall later. Mm-hmm. So they kind of are separated.
Sure.
Through this fall, much like Ant-Man Quantumania, they get separated. I don't know because reasons. Are
there any quantum ants in this?
No ants. Okay. Jack Sparrow wakes up in kind of like a swamp, like kind of like the swamp that in the movie
Tia, whatever her name is.
He hears like really strange music. And so he makes his way through. What was her name? Calliope.
She eventually is actually Calypso.
There it is.
She's she's like the physical imprisonment of the god Calypso.
Yeah, he assumes it's Calypso, and so he's making his way through the bog, and he comes across the old spooky cabin from the movie, but as the music gets louder, he realizes it is a group of anthropomorphized or like human bears, and they are playing banjos and wash drums, and they're playing music for the most part. He's like, okay, well, clearly I'm dead or high or something. And they're like, oh, you must be new here. I think I know where you're from. You're and the youngest bear takes a liking to Jack. And he's like, we can't really help you, but we think we might know somebody that can. And they're like, we just have to go into town. And so they make their way into what looks like kind of like spooky Louisiana. Like a New Orleans kind of vibe.
Sure.
And the young bear takes him to this very large hall. Where he's like, you're gonna have to go meet. I think he's a lawyer. And Jack Sparrow and this young bear meet a young man named Abraham Lincoln. And Abe Lincoln says, we could probably make your way out of here, but honestly, it's going to take a kind of foresight that I don't necessarily have. Cut back to Elizabeth and Will. They wake up in kind of like a jungle.
Sure. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they wake up to the sound of birds.
Oh, right, yeah.
There's like a bunch of parrots around.
Sure, yeah.
They're like, oh, look at all these birds. And then the birds start talking to them.
Yeah, they do.
And they're like, hey, man, what's up? And they're like singing them songs and such. And eventually, like, it turns like the birds are going to kill them. But they get saved by kind of a stockier guy and his redheaded compatriot and their leopard. They're like, hey, you're gonna have to hop on my little steamboat, and we'll get you out of here.
Yep.
Are you new here? Oh, that's fair enough. We're gonna have to take you to the carousel probably, in order to get you sorted out. It's the Rock, and they're in a jungle, and they go on a cruise. And there's some hijinks and they fight some gators. They see the backside of water. Yeah. See some elephants playing.
Yeah, but they do. Any hippos?
There's one hippo.
One hippo.
One hippo. But you only see its face coming out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And so they make their way towards the carousel, and they're like, "What even is that?" Like, that's not, you'll see. It'll all make sense. And then Jack, we cut back to Jack with the little country bear.
Yeah.
And Abraham Lincoln. And they make their way kind of to a spookier part of the town.
Oh,
you know, Jack's like, I don't know if I like this.
I don't know. There's a mansion out there.
Yeah,
It's pretty
and they knock on this like the door of this really big spooky house.
Yeah,
and
but you would say it like it's a kind of a mansion.
It's kind of a mansion. Yeah, I mean, it's a mansion. By mansion by old, older house terms. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Eddie Murphy opens the door.
Oh, not Rosario Dawson?
No,
I thought she's the one that lived there.
No. That one did not do well. Honestly, neither did the Eddie Murphy one. But Eddie Murphy is like, "Oh, hey guys, yeah. Oh, you're here to see the Oracle." And then they have a seance with a spirit that is in a like an orb,
The crystal ball.
a crystal ball.
Yeah.
And she tells him that he will find his salvations at the top of the Matterhorn.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't know about that. Mm-hmm. Now, on their way to the Matterhorn, they have to ride the steamboat.
Oh no.
But the problem is that some of the East India Trading Company guys have also been there.
The boats fell over. Yeah, so
they fell down. They fell down in a really stormy mountain range in the Thunder Mountains, and so making their way on the
Thunder
riverboat,
Mountains.
they have to fight a bunch of the East India to making their way to the Matterhorn,
Sure.
and they fight all the way up there with Abraham Lincoln and the small country bear. Cut it, and then eventually they make their way up to the top of the Matterhorn, fighting the East India Company the whole way.
Sure, yeah.
And then it looks like really bad for them. Like the East India Company is getting like
there's a lot of them.
It's getting on top of them.
The whole ship's crew
it's like
there.
it's getting really bad. It's getting really bad. And then there's like a huge explosion that like takes out all the East India Company guys.
Wow.
And it's George Clooney, and he's like, "Come with me."
Is it a jetpack on?
He's got it. Yeah, he rides down on a jetpack. But then the jetpack transforms into like a toboggan.
Cool.
And then they're like, "Hey, you got to come with me. We got to get out of here. If you think they're bad, we'll just wait until you see the Yeti." And then so they ride. Abraham Lincoln, the country bear, and Jack Sparrow.
It's a big toboggan.
Ride a toboggan with George Clooney.
Mm-hmm.
They ride the toboggan down the Matterhorn.
Mm-hmm.
And they make it to like this like crazy futuristic city. Cut back to
Will and Elizabeth,
and Elizabeth and The Rock and Mary Poppins. Well, not Mary. She's not Mary Poppins in this one.
I mean, but also she is Mary Poppins.
They make it to the Carousel of Progress, and they basically like get integrated into like this new Tomorrowland like world. They like kind of get like the whole rundown of how everything works and everything. So by the time Jack gets there with George Clooney, Abraham Lincoln, and the small country bear, they're kind of like, "Oh, hey Jack, we know what we need to do." And so basically there's like a big training montage where Jack Sparrow, Abraham Lincoln, the small country bear,
The Rock,
Dwayne "The Rock"
Mary
Johnson, Mary Poppins, his Puma,
yeah.
and then the spirit in a
Proximo,
ball.
yeah.
The spirit head in the ball gets put into like a big robot mech by the
cool.
Tomorrowland people.
Sure, yeah.
And then so they all have kind of like a training montage of like how they're gonna like take back their world from the East India
The
Trading
rare
Company.
Act 3 training montage.
Yeah.
You don't usually see it.
Yeah,
in
there's
Act
gonna be
3.
like they're like, cool, we're gonna have a big fight, and so they like equip everyone, and then they give Jack the most important thing. It's like, cool, Jack, you get the teleporter gun that's gonna take you back to your ride. And once you get back to your ride, you can set everything right, and then once your ride's working properly, then people can get back on.
Does this cause like a psychic break for Jack?
No, he's like Sevy. He loves it. And so they go back. They basically use all of the Tomorrowland technology to absolutely murk the East India Trading Company
got bodied.
and put all the pirates back in Tortuga.
Sure.
And so the ride is operational again.
It's great.
Then they like sync all the technology in the thing. But the only thing that happens is that in Jack's fight with Beckett, the East India Trading Company guy, he accidentally shoots the portal gun at him.
Oh no!
And so sends him through a portal.
Oh no!
And so they defeat the East India Trading Company. Everyone goes back to their rides, and it's just another wonderful day at Disneyland. Post-credit sequence. Beckett falls out of the portal that he was shot through.
Yep.
And he like tumbles into like kind of like a futuristic lobby. And everyone's wearing like suits and stuff with glasses. And he like looks up and he like straightens his little wig and everything.
Oh yeah, he was wearing a wig. Yeah.
And then Agent J from the Men in Black is like, "What are you doing here? You're not even. This is the wrong park. Oh no, are we going to war again?" So we're setting up Universal versus Disney.
Yes.
The ride movies are going to war. Now, post credit sequence.
Oh my God.
Now, another portal opens up to Will and
Elizabeth.
Will and Elizabeth, their marriage is about to happen, and a portal opens up, and we see Mickey Mouse walk through, and it's like, "Oh, hope I'm not late," and everyone's like, "The king, the king," and then a very hurried young man, like kind
Does
of
he have like really big feet, Jay?
kind of tumbles through through the gate, and it's like, "King Mickey, there's been an issue in the ride space. It's affecting the entire the entire king, like, well, no, the entire galaxy." They're like, "Galaxy, what?" And then as the camera pans up, we see and we're setting up this for the third movie. It is the kid that we cast as young Arthur in all of the Magic realm, in all of the Magic movies that I set up for the Disney magical live action realm. And and he turns back and he's like, I found someone that I think is going to be able to help. And Sora, Goofy, and Donald walk out and are like, "Yo, man, let's go. Kingdom Hearts 5, Pirates of the Caribbean, ride fight. The musical, the movie. Let's go!" Oh boy! I just made all the other rides part of it.
Yeah. Is that what you did, Jay?
It's just like, dude, I mean, here's the thing. I didn't hate the movie. I just was like, you know what? Yeah, I think it's ridiculous that we have a staggering amount of movies that are based off of theme park rides.
Yeah, because of this.
Yeah.
If the first one didn't do well, all those other movies never get made.
Never would have happened. You didn't think that was coming, did you?
Is it what the tip?
When I said I'm going second.
Well, that was you know what? In the montage of my brain, that's the moment of the I'm going second. I was like, wait. No, it was when he went, okay. That was the.
Oh, okay.
Oh. That's when I'm going second. I think
this is a byproduct
in my head.
This is a byproduct of the fact that I have a 3-month-old at home, and I am, for the most part, its primary caretaker at the moment. Woo! Drink up, me hearties, yo ho.
Yo ho.
Yeah,
is Jack Sparrow part of the ride? Now,
he is now.
He is now.
Yeah,
because he should be.
Yeah, they added him in.
I would hope so.
And when they added him in, they also changed some of the wildly problematic things about the original ride. It's like, this is kind of, this is that. Stop. Can you not?
Stop. That's not good.
No.
That's assault.
Can you stop chasing that woman around? It doesn't really send the message you think it does. I don't enjoy it. Ha 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 ha. Any hoozles. Well, we did it. I haven't done a joke one in a while.
You
I felt
haven't.
like it was time.
No, you haven't.
It was time.
There-
I've been really taking this show pretty seriously. I've been like really writing some good
You
actual.
have. It's been
And I was
fantastic.
like, man, no, we gotta. Yeah. Yeah. And I threw in Hall of Presidents just cause.
Yeah, that's yep.
Yeah. Oh, and you know who plays the leopard?
Who?
Justice Winslow, of course, with Trailblazers.
Should have known.
Yeah, man.
I should have known.
Should've known. Well, we fixed it. We did it. What can you do?
What? Nothing you can't do now, Jake.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
We did it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening and /watching /listening to our show. If you're watching this on YouTube, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, do that YouTube that you do so well. Guacamole's Extra, you podcast listening, weirdos you. If you're catching this wherever you catch your podcast, if you wouldn't mind, maybe leaving us a review, some 5 stars, maybe leave some kind words. I love reading them. They make my day. And they help the show too. There's also
Very much so.
That's
Yeah.
also that added benefit as well. Even though the search engine optimization or the trying to find a podcast that you don't like, just trying to find one.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's really difficult. It feels like it plays against their better interest. But anywho,
You would.
but what can you do?
What can you do?
So, thank you guys so much for listening. And as we end every single one of these episodes, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
It's the joke fix you kind of saw coming. Kind of. I wasn't. One of these days, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see it fully coming. This time,
Yeah.
my spidey sense kicked in. I got scratched by it. Like
Okay.
when he in the first one when he jumps through the 3
I get
pumpkin
you.
bombs.
No, I get
Yeah,
you.
the-
Because I gave myself enough runway of like what's actually in the world. Yeah. Sora with the big shoes is gonna save the day.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.